relates to our subject, which is the science, technology, and society. So, as a psychologist, we would like to interview you with these following questions. So, number one is, how does the increasing use of technology impact people's mental health and well-being?
All right. In the modern days, especially this particular time, most people are really not dependent. I would not call it dependent, but we are more influenced, highly influenced. We are highly influenced by the internet, by social media, by what we see in the social media. And although there are actually both advantages and disadvantages, we use technology and the internet to make our work, our task easier. As a teacher, for example, I get a lot of information from the internet, which is very helpful to reinforce the teaching and learning experience of my students. But in a way, as a learner, that's where the problem lies. I personally get to experience the students who had a difficulty spelling out because they're used to typing it on the keyboard, and it's different when you write it down, and it's different when you type it on the keyboard, and that actually has a detrimental effect on the learners. Plagiarism is very common because all the answers are in the internet. I would say not all, but most of the answers are easily found on the internet. So students get to choose the answers that they get from the internet instead of their own um, product of their own thinking. So that's a detrimental effect of technology. But overall, I would say that as a teacher, as long as we guide the students to to properly make use of technology and internet, I guess we can we can take advantage of the internet. But on the psychological side, I would say that because competition is so high in social media, it leads to poor self-esteem to the students. They tend, maybe not consciously, but they tend to compare themselves with their friends that they see on social media. And even celebrities, they will try to have this wishful thinking that they want to become like these celebrities that they admire, and sometimes that can lead to a poor mental health because instead of focusing on your self development based on how you accept yourself, we tend to accept ourselves based on the standards of others, and that can lead to poor mental health.
Yes, thank you, sir. And for my last question is, what psychological theories help us understand the impact of social media on our self-esteem, which you already mentioned, kanina, and the relationship of it?
Okay. There are a lot of psychological theories of learning that you can use, particularly the observational learning theory of Albert Bandura. We can use imitation to explain our behavior when it comes to the internet. Like what we see in the internet, when we say vicarious, there's no direct learning. I mean, the people that you see in the internet will not tell you, okay, please imitate me. That's why it's called vicarious because there's no direct learning, but you learn anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess that's a really if we go back to the classic experiment of Albert Bandura, he used television to to influence behavior of children. So we're not using television, we're using the internet, but it worked the same way. What we see on the internet, we do it as well. We copy, we imitate them, consciously or unconsciously. So yeah, as future parents, for example, you need to regulate what you see on the internet so that your children will not imitate the bad influence. You know.
Thank you for answering my questions. My next will be
So for my question is, how does technology affect the people's perception of reality and time?
Yeah, going back to my premise earlier, sometimes what we see in the internet, for example, can lead us to poor self-concept. When we talk about poor self-concept, you tend to not see what you truly are because your perception is affected by what you see in the internet. So you tend to believe on the wrong standards, for example, because you think that this person is much better than you. So that's how it alters or it distorts your perception. It distorts reality. So again, you need to regulate what you see on the internet. You have to make use of the internet for the benefits, and one way to do that is regulation. You know, if you think that the internet is so toxic, like your Facebook, for example, is so toxic, then you might want to regulate your usage of Facebook instead of using Facebook all the time. You might want to regulate it, or you might want to unfollow toxic people. These can really help you maintain your reality, maintain your perception of reality. So, yeah, I guess that would be my answer to that question.
So this will be the last question, sir. So, how can psychology help individuals cope with the stress and anxiety associated with information overload in today's digital world?
There are many theories in psychology that you can actually use, particularly in terms of learning. Again, the first one that I mentioned earlier is Albert Bandura's social learning theory, but there are more to that. When it comes to reception of technology, there are many psychological theories that would allow you to learn things from the internet without compromising your mental health, for example. It's true, while it's true that you can really benefit from the internet, from Google, for example, but you need to be mindful about the right sources, because there are so many information that you can get, like you mentioned, you can, information overload, but you need to be decisive which information is accurate, because sometimes it's easy to fall on the wrong information, right? I mean, you think that simply because it's it's in the internet, it could be the right answer, it would be the right information, but no, there are a lot of bogus information that you can actually get. So while internet is a source of information, but sometimes this information is not accurate. So you need to be mindful by choosing the right sources. Okay, you cannot just get information without the right source. That's how you protect yourself from not just from information overload, but correct information. Okay, thank you. I hope I answered your questions correctly. All right.
So that would be
Oh my God, you don't
have
have to.
a
You don't have
conversation, sir.
No, it's okay. No,
We already, yes, sir.
Oh,
It's a second.
okay,
Thank you very much, sir, for answering our question.
Thank you
and
so
for letting
much.
us
I hope I'm able to help. I'm sorry, this is really a busy day.